It started with a discovery. A local hunter, searching for his missing dog, wandered off trail near Red Pine Forest. And there it was. An old camcorder, half buried in moss and dirt, still warm from the sun, still holding a tape. The tape was labeled, Trip June 3rd. That same day, in 2007, 4 teenagers vanished in those woods, and nothing was ever found. Until now. Their names were Paige Morton, Jessica Lane, Ben Harlan, and Riley Dean, all 18, just out of high school. Excited. Free. They left town that Friday afternoon, June 1st, 2007. A borrowed SUV, camping gear, a cooler full of junk food, and one old camcorder. The plan was simple. One last trip before everyone scattered. Paige was heading to Portland for college. Riley had enlisted. Ben was staying local. Jessica still unsure. They picked Red Pine because it was remote, quiet, untouched. They wanted somewhere they wouldn't be found. Not because they were hiding, but because they didn't think they had anything to lose. The last confirmed sighting was at a gas station in Milner. They bought snacks, filled up the tank, laughed with the cashier. Nothing seemed off. The camcorder footage picks up later that night. Still day one. They're setting up camp just off the trail. You can hear crickets, distant owls, a crackling fire. Paige is holding the camera. Jessica is chewing licorice and teasing Ben. Riley's already halfway into a beer. There's a moment, barely 3 seconds, when Paige pans toward the forest. The camera shakes, then lingers on the trees. Silence. Then Jessica laughs off screen, and the moment passes. The next morning, day 2, the footage is different. They're hiking. No one's talking much. It's colder, foggy. Riley says something like, "Didn't this trail used to split left?" Ben shrugs. No one answers. Paige coughs. She looks tired. Jessica's eyes stay on the trees. Then the footage cuts. Hard. No static. No wind down. Just gone. From that point on, they were never seen again. No calls. No signals. No bodies. No signs. Just that camcorder, dug up 17 years later, half full of memories, and half full of silence. Locals say Red Pine Forest isn't haunted. Not exactly, but people avoid it. The trail signs are still there. Faded, tilted, but no one goes past the gate anymore. When the tape was recovered, authorities reopened the case. What they found was just the beginning. What came next was stranger than anyone expected. When the footage from the camcorder was processed, there were no signs of violence, no screams, no chase, no panic, but it didn't feel right. The second half of the tape is fragmented, clips out of order, some overexposed, others distorted, like the film itself had aged wrong. The first recovered fragment shows Paige alone in the woods. She's breathing hard. The camera is tilted. She's whispering something, too faint to make out. Behind her, the forest looks wrong. Not dark, but off. Too quiet, like the trees are listening. Then the screen cuts to black. A new clip loads. This one is from Jessica's point of view. She's filming Riley and Ben arguing over the map. Ben wants to turn back. Riley insists they're close. To what? We never find out. Jessica pans to the trees, then zooms in on something in the distance. It's blurry. Could be a structure. Could be a shadow. Someone mutters, "I don't remember that being there." And then the footage breaks again. We get only 5 more clips, each more fragmented than the last. Ben, walking alone, calling for Paige. Riley, filming something on a tree. His hands are shaking. Jessica, crying quietly into the camera. Then, a still shot. The fire watchtower, leaning, rotting, silent, no audio, just wind. The time code reads, June 3rd, 4:42 p.m. That was the last frame on the tape. No screams, no goodbye, just a moment, still and final. After that, The search began. Hundreds of volunteers, K-9 units, drones, helicopters. They found the SUV parked where the trail begins. All the gear was gone. No blood, no footprints, no signal, just tire tracks and silence. The forest didn't give anything back. Not a scarf, not a shoe, not even a broken twig. It was like the woods had swallowed them whole. Rumors started to spread. Locals blamed bears, or sinkholes, or kids messing with something they didn't understand. Theories piled up. Everything from cult activity, to time slips, to something ancient sleeping beneath the tower. But there was no proof. Only the tape. And it didn't explain anything. The case went cold in 2009. Red Pine was declared low priority. The families moved on, or tried to. Riley's father drank himself into silence. Jessica's mother left town. Ben's brother still posts flyers. 17 years later. As for Paige's parents, they kept the voicemail. The last one she ever left. You can hear wind, heavy breathing, and just 2 words before it cuts. Not alone. 17 years passed. The forest changed. The trail eroded. But the story stayed buried. Until now. In April of this year, a maintenance crew clearing fire breaks near the old ranger station found something strange. A box, wrapped in plastic, buried just beneath the roots of a fallen tree. Inside, a set of hiking maps, a torn flannel sleeve, and a notebook. The name written on the inside cover was Paige Morton. Authorities didn't release the full contents, but one page leaked. A page, written in shaky handwriting, faded, stained. It read, "We shouldn't have gone in. It wasn't just a tower. We heard it, before we saw it, like it was breathing. I think it watches from the tree line, only when we're not looking. I don't think we're alone. I don't think we were ever alone." After that leak, online forums reignited. Reddit threads exploded. People started reanalyzing the tape frame by frame. One user found something disturbing. In the footage where Jessica zooms into the trees, there's a flicker, a shape, not human, not animal, almost humanoid, but wrong, tall, too tall, bending at the wrong angles. Other users enhanced the audio from Paige's last scene. Under her breath, you can faintly hear her say, "Don't turn around." The forums called it the looker. Others called it the thing in the pines. Whatever it was, there's no confirmation, but the footage was real, the tape was real, and the journal was verified by forensic ink dating. Paige wrote that 17 years ago, likely just days before she vanished. In May, a new development surfaced. A man named Ethan Crowley came forward. He was 39, lived just outside Milner. Quiet, no prior connection to the case. He claimed he'd seen the tower twice, once in 2007, and again last year. According to Ethan, he hiked Red Pine the same weekend the teens vanished, said he saw lights, and heard something like metal scraping in the trees. He turned back before dark. Didn't tell anyone. Not until now. Police visited the site Ethan described. They found nothing. No tower. No tracks. No disturbed ground. Just forest. But Ethan left behind a journal. A single drawing. In charcoal. It shows 4 people. Standing beneath the tower. The sky. Swirling above them. The tower's base is surrounded by something that looks like roots. But the roots have eyes. At the bottom of the page, he'd written, they weren't lost. They were taken. Paige's journal. Ethan's drawing. The distorted footage. Each piece pointed to something no one could fully explain. Something still waiting in the trees. After the journal surfaced, the case was officially reopened. But behind closed doors, no one wanted to touch it. Not after the last tape. It arrived anonymously. No return address. just a padded envelope, left on the doorstep of a local podcast host who'd been covering the case. Inside, a VHS tape, unmarked, dusty, wrapped in a cloth that smelled like smoke. The footage was short, barely 2 minutes, grainy, black and white, no audio. It shows a firewatch tower, crumbling, half collapsed, standing in the middle of the forest. 4 figures are at the base, unmoving, staring upward. Then, one of them lifts a hand, points toward the sky. The frame flickers. The camera shifts. Now it's looking down from above, as if something is watching from the treetops. Then the screen goes black. Authorities dismissed it, called it fabricated, said it didn't prove anything. But for those who knew the case, it was too precise, too real. The angles, the clothing, the tower, exactly how Paige described it in her journal. People started visiting the forest again, at night, alone, some hoping to find the tower, others hoping never to. One local said he saw something move in the distance while hiking near the creek. Not a person, not a deer, something taller, watching, still. In October, a backpack was found, covered in moss, unzipped. Inside, a camera battery, a cracked phone, and a piece of paper, torn from a notebook, scrawled in the corner, barely legible through the dirt and water damage, were the words, "Still here." Was it Paige's, Jessica's, someone else? Authorities refused to comment. The forest remains closed to hikers, unofficially. To this day, no bodies have ever been recovered. No final footage has been authenticated. No tower has been mapped. But the locals know. The rangers know. And the families. They never stopped looking. Some people say stories like this are just folklore, modern myths. But for those 4 kids, Paige, Jessica, Ben and Riley, this wasn't a story. It was the last trail they ever walked. And whatever happened in those woods, it never really left. Somewhere, beneath the trees, a tower still waits, tilting, rotting, breathing. And if you ever hear it calling, don't turn around.